So here is a pair of trousers laid and pinned, ready to be cut. The pattern is on grain, as in the straight of grain, has been lined up there with the salvage edge of the fabric. So the grain line on the pattern piece here has been measured along and is equal distance away from the salvage edge. So here are the trouser pattern cut out, and we're ready to snip all the notches and tailor, tack and mark everything that needs it. So the knee notch, the hem, hip notch, the dart notches, and then we'll tailor tack the darts. The front trouser has a tuck, so we will tailor tack there and there and snip there and there. When starting to sew trousers, just consider anything that you need to sew up on the trouser before you sew it into a three-dimensional shape. So if there is any pockets or anything down on the leg that you need to sew on that's easier to do while the trouser is flat, then consider doing that first. If there isn't anything, and these trousers are fairly plain, then the thing you would move on to is any darts or tucks or anything like that. Also, at the beginning, you would overlock any of the edges that need it. So probably right the way around the trouser, leg and the hem would need overlocking. In this case, because of COVID-19, I don't have my overlocker. So this example will not have an overlocked edge on it. To start the darts, we need to first of all remove the pattern pieces. And you just pull through. Sometimes I hold the tailor tack just so it doesn't pull all the way through, and pull the pattern off. In this case, along the fly line, you need to, for the fly line, when you're trying to remove the paper pattern, you have your tacking in. You need to determine which side the stitching is going to be on. So if this is menswear, the stitching of the fly will be on the left hand side, so that will be on this side of the garment. So I can cut this side here, and then I'll be able to remove the pattern. If it was women's wear, I could have cut the other side here and pulled the pattern off. So because everything's been either snipped or tacked, I can now remove my pattern piece, and all of the information that I need should be on my trouser, whether that's the snips or the tacks. When I prepare to sew the darts, I need to first of all be sure that I create two opposite trouser legs. So I need to take this apart, and I pull gently there. The tailor tacks pull open, and I snip them so that I can have two opposites there. So a left back and a right back. So now I have the dart marked and pinned and ready to stitch right along. So this is the front trouser leg. I need to pull it apart, and you can snip the tailor tacks there, and then you can pull. there's one more there. We turn it this way around then. We have our marks there for our fly and for our dart tuck. So once you have an opposite pair of trouser legs, so these are the backs, you need to lay them out, and I have the right side facing up, so the dart there, that's the wrong side, and I'm going to place the fronts, so right side to right side. So this one will go this way, this is the right side, and it will face down along here. And this one goes this way. This is the right side. So the little tuck is there. And here is the right side. And I'm going to place that down against the right side. So we have an opposite pair of legs. It would be very important to take your time to do this. You do not want to sew up two of the same side legs. It's the same with all sewing. You really want to be sure you have two opposites. And I would highly recommend having a space that you lay things out and make sure that you can see visually that you have two opposites. Otherwise you are quite likely to often to sew two of the same sleeves or two of the same legs. The next thing to do then is to pin along this leg all the way up on the outside, on the inside, and stitch it together. Just notice the way the leg of the trousers do not match. Sometimes people think there's something wrong. It's the same with the back and front of a skirt. So just to remind you, the back of the leg is different to the front of the leg, and so the front is narrower. Remember, the back has the calf and the bum, so it's always going to be a wider trouser leg. We're now going to start pinning, and as always, pin the bottom and the top of your pieces together first. Okay, there is the snips there, so you can match them up and pin, and then go along and pin any other notches that you have together. So go along, and there should be something there for the knee, and both of them, a little snip and a little snip, place them together, pin, and then pin in between. Oh, there's another notch there, of course, for the hip, and pin that. Okay, and then we'll pin all the way around. So here we have the trouser leg, and we're going to sew up the inseam and the outer seam. So this is the first trouser leg sewn up and with the seams pressed, so it's ready to go, and we'll move on to the second. So now the two trouser legs have been sewn up, and we're now going to sew them up along the centre back line. So I'm going to take the two centre backs there, place them together and pin all the way along and around up to the notch point there where the fly fastening starts. So now we're going to sew along this seam here, which is known as the crotch seam or the crotch seam, and then the trouser legs will be joined together. Here are the trousers sewn up. And the next step is to do the fly fastening. That will be on another separate video. And then we will complete the trouser with the waistband.